I have pressed the button and we are live. Welcome everyone. I'm Jibril.
I'm Eb. How are ya?
So we are live. This is the first episode of FlexworkTv.
Yes, so way excited.
And right now we should be live on about 5 different platforms or 2 accounts on some platforms and stuff. So yeah, we're live in 5 places, right?
We're still global.
Extra global, right? So this is the first episode of FlexworkTV. This is a new baby that has been born from what we've been working on with inclusion and FlexCon. So we're just going to use this time for the next 30 minutes to recap what we've done with FlexCon, the April event, and talk about the May event that's coming up, because we're doing FlexCon once a month, 12 times a year, maybe 12. I guess we have to.
Right, I'm like that's we're getting there. We're getting there. We've been putting in a lot of work on the back end. So definitely, when you then break it down to 12 months, it's like, oh wow, that's a big commitment. Which is
that is a lot of work. Oh, 9 viewers instantly.
Really?
Yes. Does it show the viewers on your end? Can you see the viewers on your end?
No, I can't.
Ah, that sucks. Okay.
That's okay. I'm just excited that somebody's actually watching us. Whoever you are, thank you for tuning in.
So, and so this is just a discussion, and what we're doing also, we're using this platform with FlexworkTV to also highlight freelance and remote talent, diverse freelance and remote talent, and also highlight companies that have a diversity focus in hiring, and they are hiring remote or freelance talent. I mean, full-time. So it could be full-time talent too if it's a remote position. That's what our focus is. So as one of the people that I watch on TV say, let's get to it. So
all righty. What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about the April event, the April FlexCon event. I mean, it was great. It was a little nerve-wracking. What do you think?
First off, I'm glad that more than 10 people joined, because we had 186 from what our stats said, which is pretty good because we had 195 register. So for a first time event, I would say that we have to give each other a high five. Definitely the speakers brought their game. I love the interaction. I love the platform that we use because we were able to hop in and out of rooms, no pun intended. But if Hopin does want to give us a sponsorship for the next 5 years, that'll be great. So I think it was great. I'm really looking forward to what we're moving forward to, because we did focus somewhat on COVID-19, but definitely now servicing the needs, as you said, of freelancers, small business owners, entrepreneurs that are Black, Latinx, and those that have a dynamic talent. And I have to say dynamic talent because everybody that we networked with, even with the speed networking feature, I love that. So let's
talk about that. Let's talk about that speed networking feature.
Yeah.
So the platform we're using is called Hopin. Anyone could use it for their own virtual and digital conference. Now, if you want to work with us and you don't want to pay that subscription and you want to do a one-off conference with us combined with inclusion, then yes, okay, that's the plug. But Hopin has basically this feature where it will connect you. I can control on my end how long it connects you for, but you have, whether it's 100 people, 1,000 people in this virtual conference, you can connect with people randomly every 3 minutes. Yeah. And I mean, when that 3 minutes is out, it ends the connection, and then you move to the next person. So that was a great way for you to randomly get to know people who were virtually attending the same conference you were attending.
Yeah, and the feedback that I got from other people, it was kind of as if it pushed them out of their comfort zone to speak to people, because even though we were social distancing, we still were forced to connect with one another. And even though they had their fright or their fear, they said that they had great conversations. Even though it was 3 minutes, they still looked forward to connecting with that person outside of the speed networking piece of it.
The first time that I did it through Quarantine Con, I'm an extrovert as well, but it was a little nerve-wracking the first time, but then you get used to it after that.
Right.
It
Right.
is speed dating though.
And for those that are concerned, if you do join us in May, you can be at home and be in the speed networking portion of it and not show your video. So if you want to be at home in your pajamas and whatever else, you do have the option of not showing your video if that is a concern.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into the guests that were part of this previous conference. How did you like so we had a power woman panel, right?
Yes, we did.
So.
We did. I mean, as I said, everybody brought their A game. Joy, Kirby, Kimberly Ann, Sheffy, and even Chantel. It was really one of those things and it kind of flowed because you had one person talking about values, you had one person talking about time management, imposter syndrome, very big of what we need to get into even in this conversation, and just really feeling your way into the livelihood of what you are as a freelancer, small business owner. And they didn't talk down to anyone. They shared knowledge. They even shared their transparency, which I loved, because you don't get a lot of speakers that give the background information of, yeah, I screwed up. I messed up like 10,000 times before I even had my first successful client and whatever else. So I thought that was awesome. Then we had a DJ. So that added to it. And it was just one of those things of like, yes, when can we plan the next one? Specifically for me.
You brought up imposter syndrome.
Yes.
That is big. I mean, I think that probably destroys a lot of dreams and a lot of goals a lot of times. And people trying to reach and accomplish those goals is that imposter syndrome. The feeling that they are less than actually what their abilities can provide, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so we were talking about that, you know, before we started, but I think that's something that we need to have a full session about. So one of the things that we didn't do this time, but we promised to do in this next go around on this May conference and going forward, is having accessibility to the speakers after the fact. Yeah. So within the Hopin system, we can create sessions, and each session can be up to, I think, 20 people on camera, 10 people in a room, 20 people in a room, but 10 people on camera talking with the speaker and having a dialogue with them and asking them personal questions. So we're going to have that during this next conference as well. And also we can create sessions for exhibitors also. Right. So if it's a company that wants to be an exhibitor, we can set up a session room for you, or you could just have your virtual booth that plays a video when someone goes to the booth. But having a session on imposter syndrome, I think, is really important nowadays, because we were talking about, if you want to briefly just expound on some of the things that you've talked to as a consultant, as a coach, and with small businesses, how do you see it affecting freelancers and remote workers and people that are going out there trying to get a job now that they're out of a job?
I mean, definitely it's impacting a lot of us. And I wouldn't even put it on race or anything else. Yes, we are, as from an inclusion perspective, we are definitely going after the Black freelancers, Latinx and everything else. But all race aside, when you start dealing with that fear, that frontal lobe of what I call, even with my coaching clients, it's like, what is it in that frontal lobe that the moment you go to do an action, something in your brain just says, I'm not comfortable with that, or I don't feel worthy of that. And it goes back to who told you couldn't, who told you that you weren't worthy, or whatever it is. And however we ended up in this fearful place, that's what's stopping us from going after our heart's desires, achieving our goals. Because again, it can be, I go with the analogy or the example that you have, the good angel and the bad angel, aka the devil or whatever else. The good angel's like, yes, you can do it. Go ahead and do it. And the devil's like, nah, just sit down, because, or we are faced with someone may be better than me. Like, I can say that you are better than me in certain things and vice versa. Now, would I still try to take a stab at certain things of what you do? Yes, because it's in my nature to, because I'm self-taught. Right. But the average freelancer that may not have that support system, that may not have the accountability partner that is saying, hey, I'll be your cheerleader, they're in their one little island listening to their own personal thoughts.
Right.
And that's where we need to start getting out of. We need to get on the little boat and go to someone else's island, hypothetically speaking, and say, hey, can we partner together? And not necessarily partner together in business, but partner together on the journey, because that person may be going through the same thing you're going through as well. And you just don't know it until you have that conversation. But imposter syndrome will take down everyone's mental standpoint of being the best version of themselves, regardless if they're a freelancer, a parent, whoever. That imposter syndrome, is one of those things of, we say that certain things are a disease or whatever else, but it's just one of those things that people suffer with. And how can we help each other get past this? It's not that I'm trying to take your place in your, position or be better than you. I'm just going to flat out and say, there's just certain things that I don't know. Do I get scared? Yes. But it may be the next person that say, I need that support system. And I'm so glad for inclusion, because literally, first off, I have to say this. Our membership has tripled in 2 weeks. Like, we were at 200. I looked at the back end stats before we even got on here, like 618 right now. So it's like, oh, snap, inclusion is popping. But inclusion is popping with people that need help. And not just necessarily the help of, how do I do a resume? How do I do this? It's, let's link arms together so we can walk through this together, and you're not in this on your own.
So let's discern that. So we have inclusion, of course, the marketplace. So that's where outside companies can come in and they can post a job. And by mid-May, we'll have it set up so that they can post a remote full-time job in addition to the freelance jobs that you can already post. And so you can hire a freelancer through our platform, pay for the freelancer through our platform, create milestones for that job through our platform, load that money before you even pay. When you pay them, you're actually paying them into an escrow, so that the money is sitting there in the air and waiting to be allotted to that freelancer once the job is done. So you're not paying them in advance. So then we have these inclusion community. The inclusion community is a Slack community, and it's unlike any other in the fact that we're focused on those individual workers, professionals that may work remotely, or they may work in a freelance or flexible capacity, right? And so those people, well, you know what? I can't say it applies to everyone, no matter what, but especially those people are working usually in an isolated circumstances. They're working in isolated circumstances, and they need that reinforcement. They need that community, right?
Right.
And they need that support around being able to do their best sometimes, right? And so that's what we're creating, that ecosystem and that focus around. And we want to bring additional programming that talks about that emotional intelligence that we need to all build up, because sometimes I do stuff myself. As much as I'm doing, and it seems like I'm doing everything, it seems like sometimes that I'm not doing enough because of my own imposter syndrome.
And even with that, so for everyone, you will see me a lot in the inclusion community, because I am the community liaison for inclusion. And in having conversations one-on-one, it's that one thing of, if I had this support, or if this support can be so much greater. So that's why even, you said something great of that you feel that you're not doing enough, because even in my coaching business, it's like, what else can I do? In the membership community now, we are literally going back to say, is FlexCon enough? Okay, if it's not enough, we're going to do lunch and learns. If it's not enough, we're going to do extra webinars. If it's not enough, we'll do one-on-ones. Like, I reviewed resumes, I reviewed websites. So if you are, looking for a community, you're not going to be dumped and just become a number. You're going to be put in a community where literally I'll be the first person to say, what is it that you need? And if Jibril is working on certain things, then I will definitely jump in and say, hey, what do you need our help with? We may not be able to do a whole lot, like say we're going to pitch you to other companies, because that's what we are building the other side for that to be a repository and a just a community in itself of business owners looking for people like freelancers that need that job. But what we can help you do is help you build up the confidence to go after that position. I would be the first to say, I am a high school graduate from Tulsa, Oklahoma, originally from the Bronx, New York. And when people look at me, they're like, oh, you have 5 doctorates and you have 8 masters. No, hun, it's YouTube, books, and what did Ebony break, and try to fix it. And that would be the first that you would ever say, oh, wow, okay, what just happened? And yes, it was hard. It was really one of those things of, I'm coming out of corporate America, always the youngest in leadership. You know, even dealing with that, it's like being in corporate America as a freelancer. How do you go up against those people that did have the formal training or whatever else and say that you can demand $75 an hour? It's a process. It may not happen overnight, but I can definitely say it's a process, and we're here to help you get there.
So many people, so many people have skills. They don't have the opportunity to put those skills out there. And many of them have a skill, but they don't know how to do business development, right? And so that's one of the reasons, you know, you have other platforms out there like Upwork and freelancer.com and others, but they don't provide that back-end community. First of all, you're dumped in, you apply, you may get a job offer, and then how do you respond to that job offer in a way that shows that you know what you're doing and it isn't discounting your work, right?
Right.
Well, people need to learn that. People need to learn how to do that. But some people, it's to the point where they will never be able to learn how to necessarily do business development or networking through social media and places like that. So they do need a platform.
Right.
For others, we're just a supplement to their existing work of business development that they're already doing anyway. And we're fine with that as long as we can build that ecosystem and build the people up that don't know how to do it and give them the right opportunities.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yes.
As I said, I live for this stuff. If it's one thing where you can say, what is it that you love doing and not get paid for it? This is it. It's really being in a place of helping people pursue their purpose, pursue their passion, and telling them that it's okay to be like, you know, forget what the naysayers say. If you don't do it, what is it that you have to lose? And if you do it, what is it that you have to lose? I mean, either way, you're in a win-win situation to me. And as Jibril said, you can be in a place where you may not have all of the expertise or whatever else, but as long as you're giving that opportunity to say, hey, I may not be the best web coder, but I'm working with another freelancer and all they need is a landing page that's basic, that's an opportunity for you to exercise your skills to perfect your craft and everything else. But then I will also challenge everyone, whether if you're a freelancer or a ballerina, whatever, what are you doing with your spare time? What is it that you are focusing on? If you're, you know, now with that we're in quarantine, everybody's like, forget about, Netflix and chill, because Netflix has literally become the domination of somebody else's life because we've been here. And people laugh when I say this, I guarantee that there's maybe more than one time a day that you are in the bathroom for more than 10 minutes sitting on the toilet. Instead of going through Instagram, Twitter, whatever, you can use that 10 minutes sitting on a toilet, going through a YouTube video or reading an article. And people find that's funny, but we all go to the bathroom at some point. Use that time. Use whatever time that you can have to say that you're working towards your 10,000 hours. And everybody says, oh, 10,000 hours of mastery. I mean, there's certain things that we've mastered, not by choice, but we also do have a choice of what we mastered when we want to say that we want to be better than what we are today. And do it for 10 days. 10 days later, you be better than what you were today because you've actually put 10 minutes aside while you're on the toilet learning something new. You know me, I keep it practical. Like, what are we doing? If you sit on the toilet, just use your time to use it, whatever.
Use it wisely. Exactly. Look, so we had a great time with April's FlexCon. And so we're moving now into May. So one of the things we're looking for are speakers. If you have a subject that you want to speak on as it relates to remote work, freelance work, flexible, the flexible work that we're doing now, the flexible worker, please reach out. Go to flex-con.co. We have our new website up. And so we're looking for those speakers, for, if not for this month, for the next months that are coming up. We're looking for those experts that can speak to a diverse freelance and remote and flexible community, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I really want to get out there right now, is that, hey, be on the lookout. May 17th, it's on a Sunday. So our goal is to do what's the third week of every month, right?
With the exception of holidays, we're being mindful of that.
Mindful of holidays, yes. So maybe some adjustment depending on the month. So look forward to the next month from there. If you are interested in inclusion in the marketplace or the community, go to inclusion.co. That's inclusion spelled with a Z.co. And there's a link for the FlexCon page. There's a link for the community. There's a link to sign up on the marketplace as well.
Yes. And once you come into the community, introduce yourself.
Yes.
We'll say, hey, we'll become your best friends. We'll walk along this journey with you. And going back to the speakers, if you do fill out the speaker form, please put a topic.
I fixed it. I actually got some topics.
Really? Okay, yes.
We have.
We were like blank.
Topics.
It's like, what?
And then so there's the next question after that says, okay, the topic you picked, please pick a please expound on what you're going to be talking about. So that's fixed.
Okay, cool beans. So I'm excited. I can't wait for the next one. That's all I can say.
Me neither. And I think that it's going to be even better. If you are a company, if you're a business, you know what? If you want to set up as an exhibitor, you don't have to be necessarily hiring right now. We want to give exposure to all businesses in the process as well. So if you have a virtual service, that just any service that has a virtual presence, and you want to set up an exhibitor booth, come on down. All right. So go to the same page, go to flex-con.co and fill out the exhibitor form, and then sponsors also. Look, we can't do this. We can't completely do this without you.
Right.
I say completely. We're going to do it either way it goes. It's just, it's going to hurt a little bit if we don't have your sponsorship dollars to help out. So, we have three legacy sponsors right now: Inclusion, Your Purpose, which is your company, and then Be Easy Graphics also, that helped out with a lot of the graphics and ongoing with the graphics as well. So please, any sponsors that are interested in what we're doing and focusing on diverse freelancers, remote workers, and flexible workers, if you want to get in front of that presence, this growing audience, then reach out to us as well and go to the website.
Yeah. I would say, even with the sponsors, what's cool about Hopton is that even if you need to have your own, session room or whatever, like we've even gone the step further of, do you have a freebie? And of course, it may not be something that you can physically mail out. Yeah. Right. But if you have like a download or whatever, we are willing to push traffic your way, whether if you're an exhibitor, a speaker, or a sponsor, because again, we can't be physically together, but we're definitely looking at creative ways of pushing traffic your way. So it's not as if you're giving us something and not getting anything in return. Even as a sponsor, we would definitely want to still partner with you in some kind of way. Business owners that showcase yourself, we want to because we want to know who you need. So even though you're not hiring now, if we see people coming through our pipeline, we can say, oh, this would be great for this company, or this person would be great for that company. So we see the importance of planting seeds. Even if you don't see the fruit from it now, we want to build that long lasting relationship. Exactly. And again, I'm excited for May 17th.
All right, everybody. So this is FlexworkTV.
The first one ever in 1,000 years.
Exactly. And so, and this is the format for, Eb and I's, I would say monthly recap, if not anything else. But stay on the lookout also for the highlighting freelancers and remote talent. If you are interested then reach out to me as well. Send me a message. If you're watching this, tag me on something, because we'll have a 15-minute discussion with you in the same format, in the same space, piped out to 5 different places. And it's going to get your experience and your work out there and what you're doing, right? And what drives you. We need companies to see that. If you are looking for a job, or if you are looking for work, whether it's freelance, full-time, part-time, contract, it doesn't matter. You have to present yourself
right
to the universe, okay? So we are providing that platform to do that. Present yourself to the universe.
And if you get scared in the midst of that because of imposter syndrome, come to us first and say, I need to work through this. We do not want you to miss your, and it's not even 15 minutes of fame. Again, you're planting that seed to showcase who you are. Even though we have 10,000 other people that may be able to do the same thing you can, you bring something specific to the table. And as long as you keep that in mind, again, if you need to work out the woe is me moments, and we need to have kumbaya moments and cry together, laugh together before you do your 15 minutes live, no problem. Just come to us, because we want to make sure you have that opportunity to do so.
All right, everybody. This is episode 1 of FlexworkTv. Stay on the lookout for other episodes. Stay on the lookout for updates from Inclusion, and register for that next FlexCon. Register.
May 17th.
Everyone.
Have a good one.